Okay, so I'm going to do my first video with my wife.
Hello.
So, what should we say?
I don't know.
Just talk. We got baptised together, didn't we?
Yep.
And we left together.
Yep.
And Marie's got a funny story or something. She wants to talk about funerals.
I'm not used to doing videos. It's a massive rant that I've been having for ages now about how Jehovah's Witnesses use funerals to get more people in their religion. It's not very nice, and after watching the film Apostasy, it made me think of it even more. But the funny story was the first witness funeral I ever went to. It's not funny that it's a funeral, but we went to a meeting and
What funeral was that?
it was in our old congregation. I didn't actually know the sister that had died, and we was fairly new, but they said because this sister basically didn't really go to the meetings very often, people that didn't really know her that well, could we still support the funeral, so that we could basically get the numbers up and show their family that she had friends. So I didn't know who it was in the coffin, really. I think I'd seen her once and went along. There wasn't many people there, and got caught out by her granddaughter telling me how sorry she was for me, that her granny had died and she's really sad for me, that I must be missing her and everything. And I had to be honest with her and say, I didn't actually know her. And then I suddenly realised how ridiculous it was that I was at someone's funeral that I didn't actually know.
And I was sitting there doing your first video, laughing at someone's funeral.
Laughing at someone, yeah, no.
Terrible, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And we had an interesting funeral at our house, didn't we?
That was someone we didn't know either.
That was somebody we hadn't met.
We had because when we had our nice big house that was private rented before we went to this council house and was looked down upon, weren't we?
Definitely.
They used us a bit more they still used us a lot because we were more humble than the rest of the flipping congregation, weren't we? Our door was always open.
We were always willing. In fact, some nights
cook for people, have them in, and
we didn't have enough food to go round, so I'd even make for them and say, oh, I'm not actually hungry myself. Or we'd eat at like 10, 11 o'clock at night, because whoever came round and had a problem, they needed to get it off their chest. So we just sat and listened and drained our energy, didn't we, really?
Yeah. And then we had we had another bloke, didn't we, that wasn't baptised, but was just going to the meetings because he lost his wife, hadn't he? I think he started studying, didn't he, with an elder. And then he came round. So you're talking about an old guy from Trinidad. He must be about late 60s, do you reckon?
Yeah, you've gone off track there.
Like he's an old professor or whatever, one old lecturer in universities and things like that. But he liked to come around here. Yeah. You're talking about a congregation that's the majority of them, well, all 98% of them are well old. Because we liked that. That's why we moved from our old congregation, because they were all young and all drinking and doing stuff that they weren't supposed to be doing as witnesses, and we didn't fit in with them. Not all of them, but we didn't really like the congregation. A lot of things went on in the old congregation, so we moved here. They were older. It was different, weren't it? They were a more mature congregation. But yeah, I've gone off track. But hang on a second. This is what I do in my videos.
Funerals,
yeah. But what was I talking about? Christ. So this old bloke who's like a lecturer at universities and stuff. Out of all the people there, the hundreds of years of knowledge in that hall, and they come to us, the young ones. He likes spending time with us, out of anyone. And I don't know if it was just because he knew he could just come here, and we just let him in and have a chat. And I always ask people interesting questions about themselves and get them to talk about themselves, because that's how you learn. You gain knowledge from older people. Yeah. Go on about funerals.
Oh, you've just got me off track now. I remember talking to an older pioneer sister and saying, I am so exhausted. I've got fibromyalgia. I'm trying to see to the children, this man is lovely. He's a lovely man. But I'm really struggling to sort time out here, and the response I got was, well, he feels comfortable with you, so you should have him round. And I thought, well, you've got a bigger house than me, you've got more time than me, you don't have any small children, why don't you? Why is it always me that does this? Funerals.
Because you're humble.
Funerals.
Yeah, and then the sister's like, oh yeah, go down. Could you go and get some cards? Because the family haven't got any cards.
We'll start at the beginning. We got asked by a sister. This sister's died. She was a right pain in the backside, this sister. She didn't really go to the meetings very often or anything, but this sister
didn't read. She rubbed other people up the wrong
way.
From what I gathered.
Yeah. But this sister felt like she was doing her duty, and she did take good care of her, to be fair. I don't think she saw her own family very often, but probably due to the fact that she was a witness, I don't know. Anyway, the family were travelling from all over, so because we had a big house at the time, this sister said, I've got a really strange question to ask you. Would you mind having the funeral reception at your house for the family? All right then, yeah, we didn't mind, you know, as far as we saw it was our house is Jehovah's house. If it's ours, we can give. So we had a house full of these people, all again asking about the relative. They came to our house before the funeral, so we had the funeral cars turn up at our house. We had our neighbours asking us, oh, we're so sorry for your loss. Who was it that died? Well, again, we didn't know the person in the coffin.
Yeah, well, hang on, someone's knocking on the door. What's up?
You know the bag was moving?
Yeah?
Looked in all 3 bags, just looked in one, and there was a mosquito.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
But it's alive still, but its legs still.
My boy's knocking on the door because there's some shopping we had delivered today from a supermarket online, and we Marie tied the bags up there for our holiday when we got on holiday, and he thought there was something crawling around the bags. Turns out it was a big mosquito or something. I don't know. Yeah, mosquito. Probably even daddy long legs. All right then, mate. Okay, apparently it was a mosquito. You can hear me through the door. All right, off you go. See you later. Anyway, you were saying. So neighbours were asking.
So
who
the
it was.
neighbours were all trying to give us sympathy, and we didn't know the person in the coffin. So we sounded very, very strange. And then they all came back to our house.
They were appreciative.
Yeah, they were very appreciative. Yeah, and they brought us flowers and chocolates and things.
Yeah.
And then,
that reminds me of another story when we had those uninvited guests who brought us that chocolate.
Oh yeah, we'll get on. Well, that's
another video. Go on then. Come on.
Okay. The fact that they had the flowers from the funeral and they brought them back to our house, and they just kept them in our garden. But the sister that had died had a 3-letter name. So I won't say what the name was, but they took the first initial of the name because it was the same name as the son. So they took that and left us with AT. So we had all these funeral flowers to then get rid of.
The sister that died, her name was Matt.
Yeah, let's just say that. Yeah, I'm not used to doing videos.
You're giving it all up. So I do this. I do the videos, and I say, I'll talk about a person. I don't want to mention their name, and then later on I mention their name like an idiot. Then I pause, and you can see that the thoughts running through my head. What the hell have I done? And I don't want to do another 10 minutes of video anyway.
And then our daughter was collecting the funeral flowers from the garden and taking them in to give to her teacher. But each time she was telling the teacher, these are from the funeral that we had at our house, and the teacher's asking who died, and she said, don't know.
Yeah, but and the sister said to me, and the sister said, go down to the funeral place and go and get some cards. They're free, they'll just give you some. And I went down there, and the cards were not free, and I had to pay for them. So I was a bit like, okay. I never told her, but that cost me, which I'm not bothered about. But there's a little anecdote. Amazing. Well,
yeah.
But they didn't have any holders for the cards today, so I made them out of them. I had some galvanized garden wire, and I just sort of made like a long thin bit, and then twirled it into like a little heart and doubled it over so you could tuck a card in. I made butterfly ones and everything, didn't I?
But all those things were still like nice things to do. But the rant that I've got about funerals is
that people go and die, don't they? It's well annoying.
There is that. A couple of times I've seen this happen now. The first one was there was a sister. We moved to this area, and we never really knew this sister, but she had family in our old congregation. And the elders used to say she's elderly. She goes about on the bus. She goes to these sort of social groups. We can't get her to the meetings though. She's not interested in the meetings. So again, we supported the funeral. When the elder takes the funeral, he starts talking about her favourite scriptures.
I'll be with you in a while. Go sit downstairs. We'll be down in a bit. Hang on.
Her favourite scriptures and her love of Jehovah and this and that. And I just remember thinking, no, she didn't want to come to the meetings. Again, it's just used as a way to witness to people, to try and make her sound like she was this person that really, really loved the meetings when she didn't want to go to them.
I'll swap on smiles in. Oh, damn.
And another sister that I became quite close to, this elderly sister. She had had enough. You know, she suffered with depression, as most witnesses do. She just wanted an easy life. She's in her 80s. She liked watching Jeremy Kyle. Her family used to say to her, "Oh, turn that naughty man off the telly." She loved loose women. She'd laugh her head off at them. And again, the funeral comes and this is how she felt. This was her favourite scripture. I would say to her, "Would you like me to sit and read some scriptures with you?" "No, I'm all right, thanks." "No, I'm all right, thanks." But again, it's used as making it out that this was the last thing that they did, was that they were really, really interested, and they weren't. And it's sad, really, that at a time when a family really wants to know things about their relatives, things about their childhood, is that they just use it as another excuse.
Not good. What do you want? Okay. It's probably just a reminder. Alright then. There's our first video. Right. And how do you feel now you've left the truth?
I've got very mixed feelings. I feel a sense of relief. I feel that my fibromyalgia is actually getting better because I have time and less stress to do what I need to do. I have time to exercise, to spend time with my children, to make sure they're fed on time, and not really get too involved with other people's problems, which I was always in the middle of because people just like to come round ours and talk about it all the time. But at the same time, a lot of people become like adoptive mums to me. I had a bad relationship with my own mum. That's one of the things that I really liked, was all these people that become like mums to me. I miss my half sister, who's still in. She's not talking to me. And I still have these niggling thoughts of Armageddon and being destroyed. But at the same time, I'm seeing things and I think, one thing before we were coming out, it sounds like a silly little thing, but I was watching Britain's Got Talent, and there's a young girl on there. She could have gone off to university. Her mum adopted this little boy and he became her little brother, and she taught him to speak, and she started this sign language thing, and she didn't go to university because she couldn't bear the thought of leaving her little brother. And I thought, if Jehovah God can let somebody like her die at Armageddon because he's not a Jehovah's Witness, she is much nicer than most Jehovah's Witnesses I've met. I don't know many young teenage girls that would do that for their little adoptive brother. And that was one of the triggers. So yeah, it's an up and down ride at the minute, but it's better.
Is it?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Good. Anything else we could talk about? I'd talk quickly about the chocolate thing. Are we on 40 minutes? Yeah, we'll go for it. Chocolate thing. Because, like, so I looked at my thing and it said some people only watch my video for like 5-6 minutes. Must be boring. Must send them to sleep. I think that's why people like my videos. Send them to because I send them to sleep. Yeah, when we had a part, it was our anniversary here at our old house, and
our 10-year
someone
anniversary
invited their friends without telling us, and they just turned up.
No, they actually did ask me.
They asked you.
Could our friends come? No, I didn't. I said, I've actually got 100 people coming already, and I can't really squeeze any more in.
Yeah, but anyway, they came. Yeah. And it was uninvited, basically.
Yeah.
But what can you do? They came in, and they gave us this. They gave me these bars of chocolate.
It's one of them little boxes, wasn't it? That you...
Nah, it was a bar of orange flavoured chocolate. And I like orange flavoured chocolate, but it looked really fancy. It had like gold writing on it. It was like a cardboard box with some paper. And I was like, he goes, and he's like, oh yeah, put it away for later. Just keep it to yourself, whatever. It was, it was expensive gift. And they went on about, going on about it, how expensive it was. Like this chocolate, I'm thinking, man, this must be some nice chocolate. And we just moved to the area, and there wasn't a Lidl. We didn't used to go to Lidl where we used to live, did we? There wasn't one. We used to go to Aldi, didn't we? Anyway, I went to Lidl, and what did I see on the shelf? For like less than £1, this bloody bar of chocolate. Cheeky sod.
Yeah, but not only that.
He kept going on about, thanks for inviting us. Oh yeah, but he kept mentioning the chocolate. It was like, yeah,
and we didn't invite them.
You had all this, like free grub and that. And the sweets, they had loads of sweets, didn't they?
The couple that brought them to the party actually went home without them.
They left them there.
I don't think they could be bothered with them. And I'd made like a sweetie trolley of these little sweetie bags and said, everyone take home a little bag of sweets. Can we take one for our grandkids? Can we take this? Can we take that?
Orange chocolate
they
bars
had
worth
loads and loads of these sweets. So they...
Oh yeah, Bob, it's just funny, isn't it? I just couldn't believe it. I was like, you cheeky sod.
It's we had a handful of our relatives there, and talk about giving a witness, they were probably shocked seeing these people scoffing all these sweets and taking them all.
Even back then though, there was cliques, weren't there? Because we had like, what do we have, 2 big gazebo things. Like you think of a normal standard gazebo is like what, 10 by 10. We had like 10 by 20 by times 2, and then they sort of sat away from each other, didn't they? People in the other congregation, no one really mingled that much.
Yes, they were.
It's like cliques, isn't it?
We had one congregation that stayed in one gazebo and one in another, but somebody actually said to me that somebody in our new congregation said to someone in our old congregation, "What are you doing here? You're not in March." Oh.
No, you're in April.
I think you better delete that.
No, I ain't bothered. People don't know what you're on about anyway. Before I skip by it. Right, okay. So
I think we better stop that video before I put my foot in it anymore.
Yeah, this is our name, this is our address, this is where we are. I'm not too bothered anyway. Not too bothered.
Well, I am, because, some people are really nice. I would hate to think that when I was a Jehovah's Witness and I was really fully in, that everybody on the outside hated me, because we thought we were doing the right thing. We thought we were in a good religion. Yes, there's some horrible ones. Yeah, there's some really horrible ones, but there is also a handful of nice ones that genuinely think that they're doing.
There are some.
Genuinely think that they're doing the right thing.
Very few.
They just don't realise how brainwashed they are. So.
Yeah, I mean that shows that shows from when you leave and they all find out you've left and you only get a handful of people out of all the hundreds that you know. I mean, you're talking a lot of congregations from the city we're in. How many congregations there? 5 or 6, and we know a lot of them, and a lot from all over the place from 10 years we're in. And what did we get? Hardly anyone, really. Some people I think still think that that don't know that we're out because they're looking at my WhatsApp statuses. So I'm gonna see if I can put a video on there of Jeffrey Jackson talking about how saying that they're not.
That was a massive shocker. Yeah.
Link from God or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's quite funny. Anyway, right, okay, that's the end of the video with me and Marie. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel it awkward if I leave it on?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Where are you going?
Getting away from the camera.
You said you had more time to look after your family. Are you going to make me a cup of tea?
No, because you've got a cold one sat downstairs.
All right, you got cold one.
No, not on me. I just don't want the cupboard.
What cupboard?
There.
Yeah, so very good. End the video now because she's awkward. Go on then. Yeah, we haven't got a microwave either. So you can't So you can't reheat the tea, can you? You said there's cold tea, so I was hoping you was going to make me a fresh cup of tea. I didn't even know I had a cup of tea.
That's why the congregation's changed, because we don't have a microwave with that poor.
Yeah. People are like, what? You ain't got a microwave? We haven't had a microwave since. We've had a microwave on and off, but we don't know how to use them, do we?
Let's go and sort Lizzie out then.
Yeah. All right. So there's the first video of my wife, Marie. Bye bye.